So, I won't say over lightly about my new report that's just come out. It's one that begins with solar water heaters, but then takes a journey right into the electricity sector. And particular focus is the government's target for 90% renewable electricity by the year 2025. But before I start to talk more about that, I just want to maybe clarify what this report is about in terms of solar energy. It's only about New Zealand. It's only about using the sun to heat water, not to heat houses, and it's only about household solar water heating. And saying, because one of the things I've said in this report, which of course has attracted attention, is that solar water heating is not as good as we thought it was. But let me just go back to electricity sector. Demand for electricity is growing, especially at peak times. Now those peak times are daytime in winter, particularly in the morning, and especially in the early evening when everything's switched on, it's dark, it's cold, everything's going. And that's when electricity demand rises to its peak. Now as that peak rises, as it increases, we have to build more fossil fuel power plants to meet that peak, and that's a particular concern of mine, because every time we build a new fossil fuel plant, then we are embedding in carbon dioxide emissions, which of course are bad for climate change, for years to come. So really a major conclusion of this report is that flattening peak demand is a really good thing to do for the environment. So let's just have another look at that for a moment. Look at this diagram here. Here we've got a situation showing, here's a winter day and the peak for electricity. That peak is met at the top by fossil fuels. This base load, these are renewable energy, electricity coming in, wind, geothermal and some hydro, what we call run-of-river hydro without storage. And then as we go up higher, some hydro storage is used up here. And so what we're saying is that if we flatten those peaks down, moving more really off daytime to nighttime in winter, then we can get a situation like this where the peak can come down, or at least certainly not grow so fast, and the base load can come up. And this base load, of course, the wind, geothermal, the hydro, is the renewable electricity that we're seeking to increase. So that's really what lies behind this. Now the problem is that on those winter days, the dark ones, particularly the dark, stormy, southerly winds, the really cold days, solar hardly helps at all. Solar water heating hardly helps at all, because it saves electricity, but only about 10% of what is used for heating water. So where you want it to be most effective at the time of flattening the winter peaks, it is actually least effective. And so solar water heating does help. It is good for the environment. It does save carbon dioxide emissions over the year, but in terms of curbing that growth in peak power, it really doesn't help very much. So that's the report. It contains 3 recommendations at the end to the Minister of Energy, and it'd be great if you read it. Thanks.